everyone. Welcome back to The Daily Bite, the podcast where we talk about food, life, and everything in between. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Tom. Glad to have you here with us today. So, Lucy, let me ask you a question right out of the gate. What did you have for dinner last night?
Oh, last night? I actually made a homemade vegetable stir-fry. It was healthy, fast, and honestly pretty delicious. What about you?
Look, I want to lie and say I cooked a 3-course meal, but the truth? I ordered a pizza. It arrived in 20 minutes and I ate it straight out of the box.
Hey, no judgment here. Pizza is a classic. But it's funny because today we are talking all about cooking dinner at home. Why do we love it? Why do we hate it sometimes? And how can we make it easier?
Exactly. Because let's be honest, cooking at home sounds like a beautiful, romantic idea. You open a bottle of wine, chop some vegetables, and listen to jazz music. But reality? You're tired after work, the sink is full of dishes, and you realize you forgot to buy onions.
The missing ingredient tragedy. I know it well. But today we want to look at both sides. We'll talk about why cooking at home is worth the effort, and we'll share some simple tricks to make it stress-free. Why cook at home anyway?
So, Lucy, let's start with the why. Why should someone choose to cook at home when they can just open an app on their phone and have food delivered to their door?
I think the biggest reason for most people is health and control. When you cook at home, you are the boss of your food. You know exactly how much oil, salt, and sugar is going into your meal.
That's a huge point. Restaurant food tastes amazing, but that's usually because they use a mountain of butter and salt.
Right. And the second reason is, of course, money. Eating out or ordering delivery is expensive. If you order food every day, that adds up to hundreds of dollars a month.
Oh, absolutely. I checked my bank statement last month, and my delivery app fees alone could have bought me a nice new jacket. It's painful.
Exactly. With that same money, you can buy high-quality groceries for a whole week. Plus, there is a psychological benefit. Cooking can actually be a great way to unwind after a busy day. It uses a different part of your brain. You're using your hands, smelling the garlic, hearing the sizzle in the pan. It's very grounding.
Okay, I agree with the sensory part. The smell of garlic frying in olive oil is probably one of the best smells on earth. But what about the time? People are busy, Lucy. After working 8 or 9 hours, the last thing someone wants to do is stand in front of a stove for an hour.
You're completely right, Tom. And that brings us to the biggest myth about home cooking. It doesn't have to take a long time. A good dinner doesn't need to be a masterpiece. It can take 15 or 20 minutes.
The secret weapons: meal prep and pantry staples.
Okay, you have my attention.
How do we make a 15-minute dinner that doesn't taste like cardboard?
It all comes down to two things: pantry staples and a little bit of planning.
Let's start with the pantry. What should everyone have in their kitchen right now?
If you have these basic items, you can always make a meal. Pasta and rice. They last forever and form the base of so many dishes. Canned tomatoes and beans. Great for quick sauces, soups, or stews. Eggs. The ultimate fast food. You can make an omelet in 5 minutes. Good spices. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, and maybe some chili flakes.
I love the egg suggestion. When I have nothing in the fridge, I usually find 2 eggs, some leftover rice, and a splash of soy sauce. Boom! Fried rice in 5 minutes.
See? You are a chef. That's a perfect example. You didn't need a recipe book. You just used what you had.
What about the planning part? I hear people talk about Meal Prep Sunday all the time, where they cook all their meals for the week on Sunday afternoon. Honestly, that sounds exhausting to me. I don't want to spend my weekend cooking.
Me neither. You don't have to cook everything in advance. I prefer lazy prep.
Tell me more about this lazy prep. You're speaking my language.
Instead of cooking full meals, just prep components. For example, if you are chopping an onion for dinner on Monday, chop 2 onions. Put the extra one in a container in the fridge. Now, on Wednesday, when you are tired, your onions are already chopped.
Oh, that's smart. Chop once, use twice.
Exactly. Or if you make a sauce, make double the amount and freeze half. Next week, you just defrost it and boil some pasta. Dinner is ready in 10 minutes. Overcoming the cooking fear.
That sounds doable. But what about people who are genuinely scared of cooking? People who feel like they burn everything or that their food has no flavor.
I think we see these amazing videos on social media where everything looks perfect and we feel intimidated. My advice is to start small. Don't try to cook a French beef stew on your first try. Start with a grilled cheese sandwich, but make it the best grilled cheese you can.
Yeah, learn how to control the heat. I used to think that high heat meant cooking faster. It actually just means burning the outside while the inside stays frozen.
We have all been there. Cooking is a skill, just like driving a car or playing a video game. You will make mistakes. You will burn things. You will make things that taste too salty. It's all part of the process.
Another big tip I learned is to clean as you go.
Oh, that is the golden rule.
Right? There is nothing worse than finishing a nice meal, feeling happy and full, and then walking into the kitchen and seeing 10 dirty pots and pans. It ruins the mood instantly. If you wash the chopping board while your food is simmering, you have almost no cleanup at the end.
Absolutely. It makes the whole experience feel so much cleaner and less stressful.
Conclusion and today's takeaway. Well, Lucy, you've actually inspired me. I think tonight the delivery apps stay closed. I'm going to look inside my fridge and see what I can create.
I love to hear that. Maybe some of that famous Tom-style fried rice?
You know it. Maybe I'll even throw in some frozen peas to pretend I'm being healthy.
That counts as a vegetable in my book. To everyone listening at home, our challenge for you today is simple. Try to cook just one meal this week that you would normally buy. Keep it simple, don't stress about making it perfect, and see how it feels.
And remember, if it tastes bad, there is always pizza.
True, but try the cooking first. Thank you so much for joining us today on The Daily Bite. If you liked this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a review.
Happy cooking, everyone. See you next time.